Hello and welcome if you're new to my channel, and if you're a subscriber, a warm welcome back. This video is one of two reaction videos I have recorded in the last couple of days off the back of content I've seen on YouTube, very much within the luxury space. The first video, this one, is with regards to a video recorded by Sophie Shohet a couple of weeks ago. I'm a big fan of her content, and more so when she delves into the topic of luxury, looking at brands, the dynamics within the industry, what makes it tick. And her recent video where she was talking about, I don't think these brands are luxury. There are a number of things I agreed with, and a number of things I wanted to come in with a slightly different viewpoint. And instead of typing a whole missive in her comment section and possibly upsetting people, I thought just do a quick reaction video. At least my thoughts are out there and hopefully will not be misinterpreted. I'm Anesu Sagonda, and I produce educational luxury content for anyone after the finer things. Whether you're young and starting out in life and wanting to reap the benefits of buying quality from the get-go, or you're into luxury and wanting to focus more on quality under the radar brands, or you're new to money and wanting to learn how to navigate the terrain, then my content is geared towards you.
Michael Kors, Coach, Vivien Westwood, Marc Jacobs. Can we really call those brands luxury? Let's discuss.
On this one, I'm on the opposite end to you, Sophie. The four brands you mentioned are luxury brands all the way. You also talked about different tiers of luxury. What you referred to as the lower end, the premiums after your mid-weights. Premiums to me are still very much your luxury brands, but they're more your entry-level luxury brands. There are about 7 levels of luxury. I'm going to attach above a video where I talk in detail about the levels of luxury. You went on to say Michael Kors, considering their price, the brand, the quality, and the fact that they're at outlets makes them a brand that's not luxury. To me, that is why they're luxury, because we live in a world with about 7.9 billion people. Not everybody's going to be able to afford, or some don't even aspire to owning a luxury brand. But what they want is something that's better than your fast fashion, so your everyday luxury. And the focus with everyday luxury is very much about the price. And Michael Kors is a brand that fits comfortably in that category. They're coming in with a product that's better than your fast fashion, and it's very much about the price. As you go up the levels of luxury, then other things start becoming important, like, for example, the quality of the material, the prestige, the heritage, the exclusivity, and so forth. But with your entry level, where you have brands such as Michael Kors, Coach, Vivien Westwood, Marc Jacobs that you mentioned, they're coming in with a lower price for people who still want luxury but can't afford the higher levels that come with a lot more attributes. For the brands, this is a great segment because it's low-hanging fruit. You're offering a product that you pilot high, sell it cheap, and people buy it. Coach then differentiates themselves from their competitors by coming in with a quality product. It's better quality than their peers. That way they're able to get better sales, gain better traction, people get to know them better, and associate them as someone who dominates, a brand that dominates your everyday luxury.
That Chanel's kind of taken off and has become this brand that can charge £8,000 plus for a bag, but Coach haven't. I don't know the answer to that.
I think there are a couple of reasons why Chanel has taken off and they're able to charge £8,000, for example, for their bags, versus, for example, Coach that charge £400-500 tops. But you had earlier mentioned that the quality of Coach bags is exceptional. I think there are 2 reasons why this is possible. The first is to do with the level of luxury. You're paying for different variables. With Coach, it's your entry level, your everyday level of luxury. It's very much about the price. People who buy bags, as I mentioned earlier, are focused on the price. They're not buying bags from this level of luxury for the prestige, the heritage, the exclusivity, for example. When you then look at Chanel, for example, they are your ultra high end. With ultra high end level of luxury, when someone buys a bag from this category, it has nothing to do with the price. They will pay the price to get the craftsmanship, the quality of the leathers, the prestige that comes with owning the bag, the exclusivity of having a bag nobody has, not many people have, and of course the heritage. Chanel was founded in 1910. It's over 100 years old versus, for example, Coach that was founded in 1940. So you pay for a lot of value, a lot of facets, a lot of assets that come with the Chanel bag. The second is to do with a concept, a marketing concept called brand equity. And brand equity very much addresses, it represents the value of a brand. It's the value of a brand above and beyond the financial value, the financial worth of the brand. With brand equity, it's the difference between, for example, a branded product versus an unbranded, just the generic product. And you touched on this when you spoke about Chanel.
If we took the logo off the front and it was just a flap bag, how much would this be worth, or how much would you pay for it? It's leather, it's caviar, it's one open section on the inside, there's not too much going on with it.
Brand equity is that value premium that a brand is able to charge in addition to the cost of the raw materials, the labor, the hardware, the overheads associated with producing the bag. The value premium is that extra amount that they can push based on consumer perception of the brand, the consumer's perception of the quality, the craftsmanship, the awareness they have of the brand, the association they have, their loyalty to the brand. If it's high, the brand equity, then the brand is able to charge a higher value premium to the price and therefore dictate a greater price for the bag because the consumer is getting a lot more value for the product. With Chanel, they've pushed the boundary because they know consumers love Chanel. They love all the things that are associated with Chanel, and therefore they add that to the price. Coach can't do that because people don't hold Coach in the same light as they do Chanel. It doesn't have the same value, the same assets as Chanel does.
Why do you buy Louis Vuitton when you could buy an artisan leather bag that doesn't have a logo on it? Why do we do it?
Why we do it is because at its core, luxury is about an identity. People buy luxury items because they want to identify with whatever that brand stands for. You want to be accepted, you want to feel complete, you want to feel happy. It makes you feel a certain way and you buy the luxury item. Or for example, you are fanatical about a celebrity, Rihanna for example, and you know Rihanna likes or wears certain items, for example, Amina Muadi shoes, and you buy Amina Muadi shoes because it's your way of moving a little closer, being like a celebrity you're fanatical about. But what you'll find is a consumer's first few luxury purchases typically are brands that are well known, brands that everybody talks about. And then over time, as your tastes mature or as you grow older, you can go one of two ways. Either you continue buying known brands, products that have a lot of hype, the brands everybody's talking about, aspiring, that are trendy, that are hip, or you become a little more discerning, a little more demanding with your money, with your taste, and you go for brands that are very much under the radar and the focus is solely on the quality and the craftsmanship. But that's very much a personal thing that people do when their taste has really evolved and they're more discerning and demanding with their money and what they get from it, and they stop focusing on the hype. And as you said, going for the artisanal brands where you're buying quality and craftsmanship and no hype. And that's a personal thing where someone doesn't necessarily need the validation that tends to come from your known brands.
So price has got a big part to play. Those lower end ones, they don't cost so much, so they don't feel as valuable to us.
I think value is a relative term. Just because something is expensive, it costs a lot of money, doesn't necessarily mean it's worth more than something that's cheap. It very much depends on the person. And as I mentioned before, we're in a world of 7.9 billion people, and not everybody aspires to or even wants to buy the brands at the very top end. Some people are just comfortable with your everyday luxury, your affordable luxury, your accessible core, so bags that are priced from about £1,500 and below. In relative terms, depending on how much they earn, their lifestyle, that is a lot of money for a lot of people, and it's also valuable to someone. So it's a relative term that depends on the person. I don't think it's entirely fair to say something is not valuable if it's cheap.
Michael Kors, no one raves about Coach. Why is that? I have no clue why that is.
Why that is because a couple of weeks ago, I released a video where I spoke in detail about the significance of being owned by Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. They're the largest luxury group in the world. And what that means for anybody owned by them, a brand owned by them, is that they will have access to a lot of money to buy the best supplies, the best quality leathers, get the best creative directors. And you also have access to a lot of money to push the brand. The marketing spend is phenomenal. And that way, consumers have their brands in the forefront. Brands like Michael Kors and Coach are a little different. Most of the other brands that are not owned by the big luxury groups like Louis Vuitton, Moet Hennessy, Kering, and Richemont, they don't have the same amount of money that goes into their marketing. So consumers don't have the brands advertised to them, marketed to them, so they really get to know them. They're in the forefronts of their minds. So when they think of luxury products, they tend to go for the ones that are heavily marketed. Michael Kors is owned by a group called Capri Holdings. In that group, you have Versace, you have Jimmy Choo, you have Michael Kors. Coach is owned by a group called Tapestry. In that group, you have Kate Spade, you have Coach, you have Stuart Weitzman. Both of these groups are American, and they are essentially trying to build luxury groups that will rival Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. But if we're honest, there's no group that will ever be truly able to rival Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. But the Americans are trying through Capri Holdings and Coach. But what you will find, and this is my gut feeling, that in the next 3 to 5 years, you will start to see Michael Kors and Coach being a lot more visible. The marketing, you already see it, but there'll be a lot more of it, and the brands will be bigger and better because they have groups that are invested in making them powerhouses that can rival the European Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy. So give it time and you'll start to hear more and more. But essentially, the smaller brands, you don't really get to hear of them because they don't have the money to push themselves like the Louis Vuitton Moet Hennessy brands have access to. I've enjoyed making this video. I love reaction videos. I love having conversations with other people, talking about luxury, exchanging ideas. I hope this gets conversations going with other channels. We exchange ideas, we debate, we tussle things out. As always, thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.